Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. You know, it's really rare that I talk about the manosphere in general and punching down on it, especially because I consider myself to talk about these topics. But, you know, when a content creator comes out and does something really weird and says he's in the manosphere and he does things for men and he talks on men's behalf and he teaches men and he goes viral for something that's completely ridiculous and stupid, I got to talk about it a little bit. Let me grab my window here. I forgot to grab my window. Oh boy, this guy. So a guy has gone viral on Twitter, and he's like, if you type in ALPH, it comes up with this thread. He's been mocked by Shoe on Head and by LawTube, and like this is going all around YouTube, and it's a good reason. We got to call people like this out because they're not a good representative of what serious men talk about. They come off as weird and kind of incel vibes, and it does a disservice because I've always wondered why when I mentioned something about manosphere red pill, a lot of people are like, oh, you're a bunch of weirdo incel losers. It's like, no, we're not. Come check out our channel. Well, it's this guy that they're referring to, or someone like this guy. So this is from Alpha Masculinity on Twitter. And again, this is just blown up. Like I've seen it in so many feeds and posts on Reddit and other things. I just feel I want to talk about it because I want to defend we men that are trying to do good work and say, okay, people like this you need to ignore. So he posts, I will post links with evidence at the very end. I write this as another, quote, red pill of female nature that husbands and fathers must swallow for the betterment of their marriages and society. I care for my fellow brethren. It's the very reason this account exists. I say, okay, you know, he's giving out good advice. He's trying to spread out the good word. And all of a sudden I notice this tweet violated the Twitter rules. This tweet violated the Twitter rules. A lot of his tweets do. But I want to talk about this particular thread that's gone viral because he tells men they need to keep their women away from motorcycles and horses and anything else that may slightly move between their legs because it will get them off and then they don't need their men. And when you read something like this, you're like, all right, well, you got to go touch some grass, man. You've lost the thread here. A lot of these buzzwords I can't say, so I'll try to be creative like my usual self does. He says, further evidence of this is a woman's ability to have multiple happy times. In other words, she can get herself off in a short amount of time. Women can also be sexually satisfied without getting off to completion, which means a man can play and have and do his wife for any length of time, be it 5 minutes or an hour. And I got to kind of go, okay, that's weird. Where are we going with this? He said, the point is women are easily stimulated and aroused through almost any part of their body. They should be careful of what they do or in what activities they take part. My belief is that a woman should stay as pure, innocent, clean, and modest as possible with regards to their bodies. They must protect and not spoil it in any way for their future current husband. Arousal and stimulation not for or from her husband makes a woman filthy. Now, I don't know about a lot of you single guys out there, but as we men are single, can you imagine a woman coming to you and saying you can't jerk it or enjoy spicy movies on the internet to satisfy yourself? You have to wait until you're married. That's not going to happen. Let's face it, that is not going to happen. But that's what he's saying to women. Don't get yourselves off and avoid activities that might accidentally get yourself off. All right, we're starting to fall down a very weird slope here. He says, this is a major part of why I believe women should not ride horses, bicycles, or motorbikes. It is weird and disgusting because women are aroused and stimulated by these activities. Now, I don't know about you. I've gone horseback riding with dates and other women that I've dated. I've ridden bicycles, and I have a motorcycle that had a 2-seat on it. It was an Indian Scout with a 2-seater. I plan to get another Indian Scout when I finally land in Tennessee. I've ridden many women on motorcycles and bicycles over the years. I've never once had a woman say, now they've said that was exciting. That's sexy. That's fun. I like when you go fast. I like the loud bikes. I've never heard a woman say, will you please start your motorcycle so I can sit on it for 5 to 7 minutes for my pleasure? Never heard it happen. Never heard a comment. Never heard a woman go, ah, and moan in pleasure as she's riding a bicycle near me. But part of the problem in the kind of the manosphere or red pill or whatever is guys can get on some pretty weird tangents and go down some really weird rabbit holes. But if you're experienced with women and you know women and you've dated women and you've slept with women and you've stimulated women, look, this is kind of very serious incel vibes. And when people come on my videos and post, you guys are just a bunch of weirdo incels. And I'm like, where do you get this from? This is it. This is it. And we got to call it out. Because I certainly don't want to be related to content creators like this. Although I will say he picked some good photos. I thought about using this one for my thumbnail too. He says most of them having multiple happy faces, getting off multiple times in these sessions. So now apparently as women are riding a horse or riding a bicycle, riding a motorcycle, they're getting off multiple times. How does he know this? Science. The other ones are just too ashamed to admit it, but never too ashamed to stop it. The number one reason is the stimulation. All right, man. Like, I'll save my rant till the end. Women's happy bits are directly in contact and stimulated by the bike, bicycle seat, horseback, and saddle, the bike being a mega vibration unit. The road and general movements when riding bicycle, and the obvious rhythmic movements and aggressive touch of her happy area during those horse riding.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
Now, can you pull up individual stories of women being stimulated by an animal, a bicycle, yes, whatever? Yeah, of course you can. But you can also pull up stories of men fucking jelly donuts that they microwave for 3 minutes. It doesn't mean you need to keep all pastries away from men. It doesn't mean that you're at risk as a woman of losing your man because he likes jelly donuts for breakfast. Everywhere on SM, where you come across horses, they will always portray their relationship with the horses as sexual and romantic. This is to be expected since the horses act sexually stimulates them. They also care for these horses, getting completely obsessed in the process. Do women love horses? Yes. Do women love cats? Yes. Are there weird cat ladies? Yes. I know women that love snakes. Like, why do they pose with animals? It's women pose with classic cars. Does that mean that every woman, you can't let your woman drive a classic car because if it's a stick shift, she might hop in while the car's running and use the stick shift to get herself off? Like, pull it in. But since this has 16,000 followers and it's been shared thousands of times, now I have to come out and try to explain why we're not weirdos. A horse is also very large, strong, muscled, powerful, and yes, packing. Oh, God. Now this guy's talking about a horse's junk. It acts as a sort of masculine figure women fall in love with and are sexually attracted to. The horse almost always becomes a platform for validation, sexual validation. These women using the horse and revealing tight harlot clothes for all sorts of suggestive posing and suggestion. Dude, these are women trying to get likes and clicks, and they're going to take pictures on motorcycles and on muscle cars and on the beach during a sunset, you know, the pose from behind where they have the big sun hat and they're in a bikini and they're doing one of these from behind and over the sun. Like, are you going to tell me that a suntan gets them off now too? A man who allows his wife to ride a horse is a man who shares his wife with an animal. So apparently if you let your wife ride a bicycle, motorcycle, and or horse, you're being cucked to the animal now. He says, I don't even want to mention or talk about daughters, although I think that's daughters, although he spelled it D-A-I-G-H, daughters, because this whole concept is disgusting to think about. So if you let your child go for a pony ride, you're a weirdo. He says, go do your own research, go look at these social media accounts, go read the opinions, psychologists, behaviorists, see for yourself and make your own decision. I have. I just want what is best for my fellow men and trying to bring them along with the truth. If a man rides a horse as a hobby for work or sport or whatever else and wants his wife to join him, she can do so by riding with him in front with her legs together and to the side, which is side saddle, which is what you see women in the 1800s doing with their skirts, because you can't open your legs and put them over. So he wants women to ride side saddle with their man. That is the only acceptable way. And then, of course, his next post also violated the Twitter rules. I don't know what the Twitter rules were, but I've seen spicy photos. I've seen very inappropriate things on here. So if he's, and he gives a bunch of Quora links, but here's the thing. Quora is like a survey poll of, and usually you get, all right, so let's just follow one for giggles here. Let me put it on me, so just in case. Okay, so this one has 3 answers. This one has 3 answers. So we're going to base all of, and I'm not going to show it, we're going to base all of women based on something that has 3 answers. We can't do this. And he says, here's more. And you can, you can look up his account and follow the links if you want to. I'm not going to bother. Let's read some of the replies. This is the strangest thread I've seen on here for a while. This person's just like, and this is a guy, is just like, what? And this Kate Witherspoon says, so women have told you that so women have told you that they've gotten more pleasure from riding a horse or a bike than having sex with you? Oh, honey, that doesn't mean women get any pleasure or any sexual pleasure for riding a horse or a bike. From another one, quit horse riding right now. This guy thinks you're a pervert for doing it, so you should just stop. And this has been, again, repeated and retweeted by accounts that have thousands of subs. And they just roast the living hell out of them. All right, now for my rant. Here's the thing. Look, you're allowed to have weird opinions. I don't care, but when you start going out there and you're saying, because here's the guy's profile. I'm going to read his profile. Let me scroll way back up here. Let me read his profile. Writer on biblical masculinity. I don't remember much. Okay, biblical masculinity, gender roles, masculine frame, female nature, and general manhood. Now here's the thing. He had 16,000 followers. Now he's got 19,000 followers. So apparently some people are on this. Look, again, I've never said I am a representative of men, that I am a representative of the red pill or the manosphere. I'm not a representative. I speak my mind. And yes, I've called myself being kind of part of that community. But if this is how men are going to be kind of characterized in the community, I'm going to put myself as like a dating/relationship coach to men. I don't want to be correlated with kind of weirdos that go too far. And here's the thing, guys. If you find yourself having beliefs or thoughts like this, maybe it's time to take a step back, whether it's from my content or others' content. Go out and touch some grass. It's okay to have opinions on the stuff that we talk about. And it's okay for this guy to have his opinion. But when you're going to say that, ultimate manhood in mind, body, and spirit, that's his tag. This is not ultimate manhood. This is cringy. It's uncomfortable. It's weird. And if I'm a man that's kind of in this community saying, dude, you've lost the plot. Like, you need to back up a little bit and do a reality check. And if you ever want to know a good reality check, here's how you do it. Flip the script. Flip the script. So if a woman was to say, men, you should not lean up against things like the washer and dryer accidentally because your junk might bump up against it. Or when washing yourself, you shouldn't touch it more than 3 times because you might accidentally excite yourself. And I don't know. If a woman were to say that, men would be like, shut up. You're weird. You're weird. And they post links to this. They just tell you off. So Guys, if you find yourself going down these paths, go touch some grass. Get out of the community for a little bit. Go interact with real people. Go interact. No man is going to, if you really think women shouldn't ride horses or bicycles or motorcycles because they might find pleasure in it or shouldn't stimulate themselves until they get married, we're taking the whole like classical, you know, traditional woman a bit too far. You shot past going back to like the 1950s, 1940s traditional. You've shot back to the 1800s on this one, and I think you've lost the plot. Guys, for those of you on YouTube, thanks for being here. Don't forget to join me on betterbachelor.locals.com, where I do dating profiles of the day and a little extra content and unique stuff for supporters. If so, I'll see you there. And thanks for being here. Just go touch some grass.